Hey everyone, welcome to another Storytime Staging inside the Home Staging TV YouTube channel. Super excited to be here. I'm your host, Tori Toth. With me today, I have Jackie Romano Rodriguez, and she brings over 20 years of diverse design experience to you. And she is an award-winning designer and has worked as a creative problem solver for Fortune 100 and 500 companies. Now an entrepreneur in her own business, she can help you make the most of your space, whether you're selling your home, wanting to update, or starting a short-term rental. Please welcome Jackie to the show today. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And your company is called Realign Design, and it's out of Northern New Jersey?
Yes. Yep. So we
tell us a little bit about the market there.
It's a hot market like many other places in the country right now. It's a low inventory. We've gotten a lot of people we're right outside of New York City. So we have a lot of people coming from the city looking to, kind of get out of the city life right now. And because things are a little less expensive out here, it's just been a super, super hot market. And, there's everything in Northern New Jersey from super, super luxury homes to, very affordable. So it's a hot market here right now.
And when we're dealing with hot markets, I know photos are super important, especially now because a lot of times people are just buying homes based on photos. How important do you see photos being when you're selling the property?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first thing people will look at. Absolutely. And, I'm here, things are being sold sight unseen, just going off the photos. So, it's the first place people will look. It's the first thing that gets them interested. So photos are your first impression. So important to have the right photos at the right time because it could sell your home right from there.
Yeah, and I see so many times people are just rushing to put the home on the market right now, and they totally skip the photo prep. And so you have a specific service called the photo prep. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah. So we've been noticing that, we specialize in occupied staging. So we'll do the walk and talk, we'll make recommendations, then we, back in and actually help with the hand staging. But we've been noticing a lot of professional realtors, photographers, and we've been noticing there's a need for that day of preparation, especially in occupied, because people are living in their home. And even if they do the recommendations or we come in to help stage, things get moved, things get shuffled, we're all living our lives here. So, for the day of, it's really important to make sure that we have those vignettes set, that we have pillows propped, that we have everything where it was supposed to be for those photos, because the photos live way more than, when you come in for an open house. They're online. So again, first thing people see, you want to make sure that you have it showing at an absolute best.
Yeah, and I mean, it is like what you were saying, it's the first thing people see, and it's actually what's going to get them to even pass by and go check out the house, personally, if possible. So I figured it would be kind of fun to just head to realtor.com and check out some of the listings that are online right now and kind of just share our expertise in what we would do differently. So this is a property in Jackson, New Jersey, and it's going for $415,000, 3 beds, 2 baths. And I'm going to just expand the pictures here so you guys can see them a little bit better. So, I mean, this is a pretty nice house on a pretty nice lot, I'd say, Jackie. And curb appeal is looking pretty good here.
Yep. Yeah, it's it looks like it's probably around this time. So, there's no foliage on the tree or anything, so it must be taken around the winter time. But and that's the other thing. Help it, like the grass is looking a little brown, but it is also so you have to work with what you have.
Yeah, I would say one thing that they should either take down the flag or put up a new flag because it looks really tattered.
Yep. Yeah,
You
sorry.
see that? It's like really tattered. But obviously that's not going to make or break the sale. Let's go to inside. So this is the first picture you see on the inside. What are your first impressions?
Oh boy. Yeah, clutter, you know, all the personalized little figurines, lots of clutter. And, when you're taking pictures, you want to make sure that you have one or two bigger things. And any of the accessories or decor, you want to go bigger with these. So a lot of these little things, although they're super cute and you love having them in your collection, they don't really photograph well. It comes across as just clutter. I mean, that's the first impression you get when you see this whole uh, here is clutter. So you want to take down all these little figurines, pack them up, do what you need to with them, and definitely edit what you have there. And go for the bigger pieces of decor because they'll just photo way better.
Yeah, I always recommend that people, if you're going to be highlighting anything in a shelf, that it's kind of bigger than a softball.
Yeah.
And all these little figurines, like what you're talking about, they're collectibles, right? And so, yeah, they're nice to have when they're out there and you're just decorating your own house. But when you're going to sell, and this is the first thing in the entryway that people see, I would definitely recommend editing this to either make it look more presentable. But if you see here in this next picture, because I thought it would be a built-in at first, but it's not really a built-in. So would you recommend even moving that piece of furniture in
Yes.
that entryway?
Yes.
Right?
I thought it was a built-in too. Yeah, if you can move that, I would totally, because then it'll open it up. It's like when you first walk in the door, you want to have that open. So if it's something that you can move, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would almost even put that table on that wall there, and maybe like a nice mirror or piece of art that's there. But yeah, that's the entryway. Definitely what Jackie was saying, you want to increase that space as much as possible.
Yeah, and even this, it looks like there's another curio with collectibles in it too in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would try and pack it up and move that as well, and just leave that, like I said, a nice mirror. That's our old trick, right? Stager's trick is always like when you walk in to have a mirror there so that the buyer literally sees himself in the house.
Yeah. One other thing too that I would probably recommend them do is take down that little curtain that's in these doorways right here, just so it is more spacious and you can kind of see room to room, if that would be possible.
Oh, on the French doors. Yep.
Yeah, the French door is right there. So this looks like a little sitting area, which turns into a bed. Pretty funny here.
Oh, a Murphy bed.
Yeah, it turns into a Murphy bed. I would just say with the sitting area, though, there's a lot of little pieces of furniture, right? I mean, how important is it to kind of pare those down?
Yeah, it's visual clutter, when we're looking at these things. And again, well, it might look fine when you're walking through the home. Photographing, it definitely picks up all these things and it makes visual clutter almost. So one of the things that we always recommend and we work with our photographers is taking the pictures, stepping back and looking, as you're taking the pictures. What does it look like through the little viewfinder? What are you seeing? Because a lot of times, when you're in the room standing there, you kind of miss things or you might overlook things. When you see that viewfinder, you really get an idea of like, oh yeah, there's too much going on over here, or we need to move over here. So it's always a recommendation to look as the photographer's going through taking pictures.
And I would say that's the important part of trying to find a stager and actually spending the money on a photo prep, right? Because a regular photographer, they're not going to do this.
Right. Right. And even, just looking at this too, the lighting is so important in here. While they do have those, I guess those are blinds kind of open. I would open them all the way. And it looks like they have an overhead light, but you want to try and let as much natural light in as possible. And probably maybe move one of the, I like that they tried to layer the lights in here, but you can see there's like a little tiny lamp, like all the way in the corner.
Yeah.
What is that doing? Again, there's a lot of like visual clutter here that I would probably eliminate, like the other lamp on the other table too.
Yeah.
The windows, and have that natural light flooding in.
Yeah. And so that's what it looks like with the Murphy bed open. I would definitely recommend don't have the Murphy bed open. This looks like it could be the master. Any suggestions here?
Oh yeah. I would probably, well, first I would, the picture's way too small for the space. So I would take down those pictures and have one central focal piece like over the bed. I always go with white bedding, maybe layer in other colors with it, but I would definitely get rid of like the grandma quilt. Curtains too, open up the windows, maybe move that chair out of the corner. And I would also kind of do like a little vignette or stage something on, I guess that's the bureau or the dresser across from it.
Yeah. Get rid of the doily.
Yeah.
The doily too. I mean, just a few things to, I mean, let's say even if you couldn't necessarily, buy new bedding, at least if you, for the pictures, brought all that bedding down to the foot of the bed, right? That would make some type of a difference.
Yeah, or if you have white sheets and then just use the fold it, and then you could just see like a small amount. I mean, color's okay to put, in, but I wouldn't, that's a lot there. And it's a very, I mean, if you look at this, first thing you think of is it's probably an older lady's house or an older couple's house. You to think that way when you walk into a home that's for potential buyers that are probably a lot younger. So, that definitely is a base there. That's definitely a style, and you want to try and neutralize that. So, I would try and utilize as much as the white or neutral bedding as possible.
Yeah, I would definitely agree there. Let's see. Was there any other? Oh yeah, this was a good one too. Let me see if so taking it from this angle, thoughts on the main living area here?
Yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily the best angle to take this picture. I would try and maybe take it from around the second page. Yeah, the second one is definitely better because it shows all the space. But the top one, I'm not a fan of taking the back of furniture. I think it kind of blocks things. So I'm not loving this angle. I'd probably go around and take it from the front on that corner side so that you're facing, the furniture more so than the back. And again, I mean, these are, just looking at, there's, they need to declutter, they need to decentralize. These are all part of our normal staging stuff that we do. But within the pictures, again, I would make sure that the windows were open as much as possible. Take down, I think those are curtains on there. It's hard to kind of see on my end. Are those curtains on the top?
I think it might be, I think that might be something that's outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I would even say that curio that's over there is a little too big for that space too, like stuck in between both windows.
Yeah, and the little end table could probably go in between the furniture, and I would put the lights. I mean, we always put lights on when we take pictures, so all the lamps I would have them on, and the overhead, like all the be on, all the windows should be open. Lighting is so important when you're doing, photography as well, and the angle.
Yeah, definitely the angle too. And I would say, like, yes, this must be ideal when you're sitting around trying to watch like a movie or your favorite show or something, but just the way the furniture is positioned probably isn't ideal. And I don't know about you, but I know you probably love sourcing furniture in other areas of the house too. Like, I would have probably put those two chairs that were in that small room here on either side and get rid of those more comfy chairs that people don't tend to appreciate anymore.
Yeah, I mean, even the back wall there, the blue wall, there's like random furniture too, I would probably just move that out as well.
Yeah. Yeah, make it more meaningful and purposeful where you have things positioned in your house, because just having these random things all over the place, it really distracts the eye as they're going through the home, and they don't really know where to pay attention to.
And I think the
Yeah,
rug wall too. Let me look at the next page. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. That actually does work.
yeah, the rug isn't too bad, and I actually like that couch too. I think it's a great couch. It's just the chairs that are really making it look a little bit more dated than it needs to be.
Yeah, and they're oversized. They don't, like you said, I think the other two chairs would look better in this room as well.
Yeah, let's check out another one. Let's go to 38 Imperial Court here in
Okay.
Here's another property in Jersey, in Monroe, getting close to the 900,000 mark. 4 beds, 3 baths. Again, really great picture from the outside. It looks like a really big house.
Yep.
And they do share a lot of exterior shots, which I love.
Yeah.
And it's.
Go
ahead. I was just going to say, it's really hard right now to really focus on curb appeal, right? Because Jersey, it's still winter.
It's cold here.
As soon as it gets warm, though, I don't know. I would definitely recommend maybe they power wash here.
Yeah, and totally. I'm looking at, like, as soon as it gets warm enough that you can put flowers or some sort of green out there, I always do that, like in the front door, like probably door. And then, it's so important now for people to have that outdoor living space. People have a lot more use of that in their homes. So I think really staging the outdoor space is a must now. I don't think it's an option. People want to have that barbecue and, host friends outside and have almost like an outdoor living space. I've seen some of these in Jersey where they have TV, fireplaces and fans, and it's just, they're bringing the inside out because people are entertaining so much. So I as soon as it gets warm enough to be safety outside, do it.
Yeah, and it looks like they definitely have a great entertaining space here. I wanted to get to the front porch because you were talking about that. So what would be your suggestion here? Because to me, it looks like there's a lot of stuff happening.
Oh yeah. Okay. The swan's got to go. And also, when you're looking at this too, and your photographer should know this, or if you're working with a professional photographer, we got a lot of like funky shadows going on here too. So the time of day is also important when you take these pictures. Believe it or not, like slightly overcast days work really well. I would probably make sure that I get the timing of the day right so that you don't have like shadowy stuff that you're fighting with. But as far as the staging goes, they do have flowers, so that's nice. I would probably remove all those mats and get one large mat. The larger the house, the more you want it to have like a big welcome mat. Like that's too small for there. And the other ones I would just get rid of. Totally get rid of the swan. I would put some bright colored pillows on that little. It looks like a little seat, or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't really see what's going on in the corner there. It looks like it might be a plant stand. Maybe, I don't know, but
I'm not sure. But I do think there's a lot of just like potted plants there, which is great, but at the same time, it's just a lot in that small area.
It is. Yep. And there's the daffodils. I'd probably remove those, and whatever's on the other side of the swan, I can't really see it, but I would get rid of those too.
Tulips and daffodils. Yeah.
Nice, big, like welcoming mat. Very like, this is like we're getting into luxury territory here, so I would do something, oversized and really nice, and then beautiful like bright pillows on the seat there. And it looks like, the other ones look like they're permanent, maybe, I'm not sure, next to the pillars. I don't know if they move or not, but you know, I'd make sure that whatever plants are in there, it looks like there might be some, what are those, pansies?
Fancy?
Uh,
Yeah.
I'd make sure whatever's in there is blooming and looking good too.
Yeah. One other thing that I noticed here, it might take a little bit more work, but just the color of the screen door versus the color of the rest of the door with the windows and everything. I think maybe painting that, having it all be one color, whether it be black or all be white, would be beneficial too.
Yeah. Well, it looks like, I mean, if we pull out and look at some of the other, the shutters, they're showing up here, right? I'm thinking they may have been black at one time. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
That's something, you know, you might want to address too. Those are super easy to paint. If they were just faded, I can't really tell from the pictures, but you know, having that black and then, like you said, doing the door the same color or contrast to have it pop.
Yeah. I'm always about a pop of color in the front door.
Oh yeah.
Let's check out the inside. So this is like the entry when you first walk in.
Yeah. Clutter. You know, again, I like this little corner coat rack, but I would, you know, take all that stuff out of there. Obviously, maybe have one thing on there. I'd take those flowers down from there and whatever's hanging on the right-hand side. I don't mind the plant being there when you walk in because it's a little bit of green, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then I love the console table with the mirror, but I would kind of redo that. I would have it like, you know, how we do the threes and just and have it a little bit more purposeful than just stuff on there. And it looks like the size of what they chose is okay. I'd probably just rearrange and, you know, kind of redo that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. It's just so important to, especially for the pictures, just to just remove the backpacks and things. And I think it's these little things that homeowners just forget about because they don't really necessarily see it. And they're just like, oh, it's picture day. Let's just get everything as clean as possible. And
right. Yeah. And that's it. The homeowner's probably like, oh, there's just our backpacks are just there. It looks neat and organized. But when you look at it in the picture, it doesn't. And again, that's just that taking the picture, stepping back and having a stager work with the photographer who could see these things because we're trained to see this. Our eye picks this up.
We're all about the detail.
Yeah.
What about this room? I mean, this is just such an odd thing that they ended up shooting here.
I'm really surprised too, because this is, like I said, we're going into like luxury with this home. So
this is not screaming luxury. So what would you do to enhance this space a little?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably do something, first of all, that, you know, I'm trying to make sense of like why some of the curtains, some of the shades are up and some are down.
Yeah.
And my OCD is going off the charts because they're not even up or not even.
I know. Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, that the chair is way too big for this space. This looks like it. I'm not really even sure if this is just like an office. I would probably stage this as an office space because I have to think that there is a bigger, grander living room or den or something or family room.
Yeah.
So I would probably do this as like, this looks to me more of a study space or an office space. And again, the outdoor space and office space is so hot right now. People are looking for that. So I would probably set it up with a cute little, you know, workstation space. It just seems like that's the size of it. I mean, could you seriously be comfortable watching TV in here? Like you're right on top.
No, it looks like the TV is just even too big for the space to begin with.
Absolutely. Everything is like oversized for this room. So, you know, I'd probably either get rid of those shades or do something, you know, open it up, and I would stage a cute little desk with a nice chair, maybe a few other little things, but I would probably stage this as a office or workspace.
It's just odd too, because it's like, is the rug not straight, or is the like piece of the fireplace media center off the wall a little? Like it's just a weird angle to even. Yeah. You shouldn't even be putting this picture up here, honestly.
And I think the rug has got it looks like there's a stain on it from, I mean, I can't even see that great because the pictures are small, but it's like, yeah, again, my OCD is like, I just want to get in there and like straighten things out.
Yeah. They do. It looks like they do have an office area at some point in this house. So, I mean, that's nice. What about this larger image here of everything? Like, where does your eye go immediately in this picture?
Which one are you on?
Oops.
Is this the kitchen or? Oh, this is.
No, hold on. What did I do? Yeah, like the whole kitchen, and it's like the kitchen sitting area, and
I guess that's a family. Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too. When you pull that one back up, your eye doesn't really know where to go. And I get what the photographer was trying to do, or whoever the picture was probably just trying to space and how open it is. But you really don't know where to look. It's like I probably would have directed, if this was a photographer, to just take the kitchen space and then just take the sitting space, or take it from, you know, just the sitting space going down to the Eden, I guess that is. There's a lot for your eye to take in here.
Yeah, I think for me, it goes to all of the light fixtures, but then it's like the light fixtures can't even just be noticed, because then it's all those things on top of like everything, on top of the cabinets, and then on top of every like windowsill and doorway.
Yeah, there's a lot going on for you. And you know, I always say, you know, you should have all your lights on. In this case, it's distracting, I think, because it's like there's lights, and your eye is just kind of going up and down there, and then there's no place for your eye to rest in this photo.
Yes. And the normal places where you think they could rest, you can't, because there's just more decor there.
Yes.
So
and again,
definitely less is more.
Yeah. I mean, besides the stage piece, I mean, and sometimes, let's be real, we don't, you know, for photo prep, sometimes I walk in and it hasn't been staged. So it's like you kind of have to make the best of what you're working with, try and make those pictures as good as you can. So like in this case, if I didn't have the opportunity to stage it, or they didn't have a consult first and I was just going in cold to do a photo prep, I'd probably direct them to do just the kitchen or just the sitting area. You know, and of course we do some light staging, whatever we could. Like, I don't even know what's on that coffee table, but I would probably, you know, get rid of the clutter in there.
It's like a candle and some remote controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want to remove the things off the top of the cabinet, and even maybe pare down what's on the countertop here too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love the fresh flowers, but you know, they have a vase that's like very distracting. It's like black and white, and your eye kind of goes to that. Then it goes to the dishes. Then it goes to, you know, you're not really, now I'm just looking at the counters and what are the counters of, and what is the backsplash? Like, it took me that long to figure out the space and what was actually there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And when you walk into a place, you want to see the place. You don't want to see all the, you know, the lamps and the decor or anything else. You want to see the space.
This is, yeah, this is another area right here. Not sure why we would leave this basket here.
Yeah. And I find the thing over the door distracting too.
Mm-hmm.
Like window, also that corner thing. You know, you have to think too, every square inch is money, right? So when you're putting stuff in that area, it's filling that area. It doesn't look as big. So you're actually kind of losing money on the visual space.
Yeah. Now this is just like, come on, photographer. You couldn't have at least shut the door here. And that's the thing. They won't do it. They will just take they will take the photo how they see it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that's, again, you either need to have a photographer who does do that and takes the time and does the details, or you need to have a stager help with that, because just looking at that, yeah, the door is open and you got all that stuff up on top of that shelf, whatever it is. And then you have stuff on top of the armoire as well.
Yeah.
The other thing, again, my OCD, on that console, it's not even centered.
Yes. And then you've got the shades that aren't aligned right. And so it just becomes really a messy room when it doesn't really necessarily have to be, right? And this is what happens. The buyers will start looking at all these other little things versus the actual square footage of the room and what it is it's utilized for.
And if you take away all of that, the space is beautiful. It's got really great light. It's open. Even the paint color's fine. Like it's a nice space. It's just everything else, because of these photos, looks so cluttered and just weird angles and not the little details like closing the door and centering the buzz on the console makes such a difference.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Were there any other pictures? Let's see. Any other
kitchen, like tons of stuff on the counters.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about here? This room. This room looks like a really big room, and it almost looks like everything is too spaced out, like they should have had different multiple seating areas or something along those lines to just make it more, I don't know, welcoming and like cozy.
Yeah. Things that bother me about this room, if I was, again, taking pictures, that clock is like too oversized for, like, where's the focal point on it, right? We always try as stagers to find a focal point and maximize that. Where's the focal point in this room? Like,
Yeah,
it goes to the fireplace, but then it goes to that clock, but then you have the TV with the console. So
I think a nice big piece of art that was almost two stories,
yep,
or hitting that second story mark over the fireplace would definitely bring your eye back to that fireplace versus what you're saying, because there's so many different things competing.
Yeah.
And
the
it does
oversized to begin with too. So you got like this, kind of big chunky furniture that's kind of overpowering everything else in the room.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hope there's not the stager who did this watching.
I don't think this house was staged.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think this house was staged. And if it was,
I'm sorry.
Then
I don't like to be a backseat stager.
Yeah, see, look at how much space this room actually was. And I think if it was positioned all right, I mean, they're obviously positioning the furniture for the TV, but unless this TV was like the only TV in the house, I would even consider maybe taking it down and repositioning the furniture where it should go.
Yeah.
And even all this other stuff that hangs out in the corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that don't necessarily need to be there.
Okay, now let's go back again. Almost a $900,000 home. This is appearing to be the master. What is going on here?
Let me see. Let me catch up to it. Oh. They have a curtain rod sectioning off part of, is that right?
Oh, that's where that little space was to begin with. That was weird. Where that chair was?
Yeah.
I don't get it. The rug, there's whatever is hanging out on the side of the nightstand. The bed is not made. The curtain rod should definitely be down. I mean, and it's got like a vaulted ceiling and everything. Like, it has potential.
Yeah, it's a beautiful room. Again, just the curtains are at all different levels of open, all different stages of being open or closed. I don't let anybody take a picture with your bed not made. Yeah. I mean, this, again, you're selling luxury here. I would also, looks like it's a cabinet at the foot of the bed.
Yeah.
I'd probably take one of the other pieces of furniture, like a low bench or something. I think we saw something like that in one of the rooms and put that there. Definitely swap that out. And also
Pick up the rugs.
pick up the rugs, the nightstand. Well, I don't even know if that's not really a nightstand, whatever that is. I'm not sure if it's, let me see, is there another one on the other side?
Yeah, there looks to be two. So those are the nightstands.
Okay.
I would say other things too, like lighting. The lighting is so important. It looks like there's two different types of light bulbs on either side in the nightstands. And on top of that too, it's like these little details. So just moving the like turning the lampshade so the actual, seam of the lampshade was facing the wall and not necessarily out there for everyone to see.
Right. Yeah, and again, that's why photo prep is so important. While you might not have the opportunity, I mean, ideally, we'd like to do the consultation, have the homeowners, take the recommendations, go and do their homework, or do the staging itself. Sometimes we don't have that opportunity. Sometimes we just come in to help with the photo prep, and those are the things that we have to look for that you might not necessarily see. And for sure, the homeowners are not paying attention to where the seams are, or if there's a wrinkle in this or the way the bed is. I mean, they probably think that bed is made. The cover is pulled up, the pillows are there, but we know better, right?
We know better, and that's why we are here as home stagers. Jackie, I mean, I could do this all day with you. I love going through. I love going through MLS photos.
Bathroom. Yeah, so these are things that, the next page, I was just looking, the bathroom, like, yeah, you're right, this wasn't staged, so I feel better about that because I don't like to tear down anything.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But
let's just talk about how quickly a bathroom could be completely just made over if you remove the stuff.
Remove the stuff, take down some of those things, put a bigger picture up, have some, like, fluffy white towels, have one, like, really nice robe hanging. It looks like they got some stuff hanging on the hook I'm seeing through the mirror. Put a little, I would definitely do like a little mirror tray with some really, nice little toiletries on them. This is, again, we're selling luxury. So people want to walk into a bathroom and feel like they're in a spa. They want to feel like this is like, relaxing and, treating yourself and all this other, good feelings. When you come in here, all you see is like, oh my gosh, I got to clean this,
Yeah. This is, and you know what, too, it also makes you feel like what's underneath in the cabinets. If you're not using, are you even using the cabinets, or is this, is there not enough space?
Right.
And I would even think too, like putting some poles or something on the cabinets would make it look a little bit more luxurious too, like what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I would probably do like those crystal poles on there, or maybe even like, I can't tell what the faucet is, but maybe matching the faucet to it as well. Right. Yeah, the poles should be. And I mean, the mirrors, this bathroom is a little outdated. Maybe it's worth, not that we could do it for a photo prep, but if I was to stage it, I would recommend taking those mirrors down and doing like separate little mirrors, like a nicer, more luxury level mirror on there.
Yeah, or even Mirror Mate has where you can put like a frame around mirrors like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would help. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. So when you do photo preps, what do you look at everything? Do you focus on just the main areas of the room? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if it's, again, just depends on, we've been pulled into doing photo preps that we didn't get to stage. So it's just really looking at the rooms, setting up as much as we, can do, whatever we can do within that time. But it's looking at all the details. So hopefully it's been staged, or at least they've done their homework. And a lot of it is just making sure, like, the seam of the lamp is right, the pillows are placed right, the vignettes are there, that they have proper sized decor, and we want to shoot it. Walking with the photographer and making sure that we're getting the right angles, making sure that we're getting any kind of like special architectural feature, anything that really distinguishes the house or sets it apart. We want to make sure we're really focusing on that. And any of the other areas, we do go through pretty much the whole house, but we want to make sure that we're hitting those areas that are really going to sell the house and set it apart.
Yeah. And I think that's why all my lovely real estate agents out there who's listening or checking out or hanging out with us in this community, it's important that you still stage homes even in a hot market, because these pictures, yes, they're going to, there's going to be a buyer, right? Because there's not enough inventory. But at the same time, are you actually going to get max dollar? Can you be making even more money if you just made tweaks like what we were talking about as we were going through these photos today?
Right. The difference between getting your paying price and getting into a bidding war.
And not only that, too, like as an agent, wouldn't you want your listings to look as best as possible? Like that's part of your brand. It's like that's an extension of your brand. So do you want your photos, like do you want your brand to be recognized for just clutter everywhere, or like the doors not being open, like weird things like that that shouldn't even be an issue, but it's right there. Pictures worth 1,000 words, right?
Yeah. And what I've done with some of the realtors that I work with is we've shown them kind of the before and after in the photo. For some reason, it just kind of clicks with people when they see the photo, more so than when you show them like, hey, this is the before with the doors open and the clutter and the things, and here's at the after. You can see in the photo how much of a difference it makes. Those little details make so much difference. And most realtors, they're awesome at selling, and they also are very good with working with their clients, and they're not paying attention to those little tiny details, and they shouldn't. That's why we're here. That's why the photographers are here, to make them look as good as possible so that they can focus on the client.
Yeah. So we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what suggestions you would make to the photos that we checked out today. And if you actually use a home stager, or if you would consider using a home stager now after checking out this video. Jackie, where can everyone go to find out more information about you?
You can go to my website. It's realignanddesign.com. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, doing some YouTube videos as well. And I do send out newsletters, and I try and, put out as much helpful resources and tips that I can to help realtors and homeowners, so they can find me there to talk about these things and offer any suggestions.
Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your expertise. I think this is going to be a real eye-opener for people who take the time to actually watch this video to see what it entails for a home stager, like to be a home staging expert, and the things that we look at when we're checking out these pictures, and the things that make us like really cringe because we're just like, we want to change it. We want to change it for you guys. But again, Jackie, thank you so much for jumping on here and doing this. If you guys like videos like this, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.